Hi, I'm Dennis Weiss. Welcome to our town. Eagle Communications is down at Great Plains Theater. No surprise there, right?
It's a good place to be.
But we have a new face to introduce to the camera today, Patty Mayhew. My friend Patty. How are you?
I'm good, Dennis. Thank you for coming down today. We're always glad to have you.
So you're always good. That's, when I think of Patty Mayhew, I think of two things. Work is happening. One, you're getting something done. Two, you're very likely to be smiling about what it is you're doing. So I've known you here as a volunteer. That's how I met you.
That's correct.
And I think we started that over on 3rd Street.
We did. That was the beginning of my history with Great Plains Theater. So, in fact, I think it was the first day that your lovely wife started down at the office on 3rd Street. It was after the fire. She called me and said, "Can you come help?" So I've been here ever since, and I think that was, you know, since February of 2015, probably. So
we're shooting this on a Monday. What's the date?
President's Day, February 12th.
And that's why you're the interim executive director. See, not just information, but accurate information. So, Patty, I knew this before I read the press release, but you have a long history in business of doing great things with people and numbers. So when I heard we're going to have Patty Mayhew as interim executive director for 60 days, I said, dang good choice.
I'm honored to serve. I think, you know, the theater is a great place in Abilene. It's done great things economically for the community. And I cannot say enough good things about Elizabeth Weiss, because she brought us from a burned down facility to a couple of new places. And between she and the team here, which is comprised of Randy West, who is the main stage director. We've got Margaret Clare as our education director. We have Lexi Weiss as our marketing manager. Mark Warner, who is our technical man, and he has built some tremendous sets. Last but not least, we have Kim McGuire, and I can't say enough good about Kim either. She has got, she has the attitude of going the extra mile, and talk about smile. Mm-hmm. She always has a smile on her face, and she loves our patrons, and we all do. So Great Plains Theater is in a good place right now, and I'm happy to serve here for the board and the staff and our donors, our patrons, and every business member in our community.
So, Patty, I think you know this, but I get to say it for the camera because it's my camera. You know, when we started the show here at Eagle, it was the focus is always economic revitalization. It's in our mission statement. It's what we do. This little pen, this is employee owner pen, right? So our company is employee owned. The employees own 100% of Eagle. So when we took the long view, when we built this area over here, we bought some, built some. If our communities prosper, Eagle's going to do just fine. We'll get our fair share. If the communities don't prosper, nothing matters. So Elizabeth always offered the facility here, and it's a nice place to put a camera up. There's always art on the walls and cool. But you know, this is one of the best examples of economic revitalization that I know of anywhere.
I would agree.
I don't know that it was planned, but it dang sure happened. The place burned down. So we have a service company. We have 8 or 9 technicians work with computers and things, but that's the tools they use. They wiggle their fingers over a keyboard. But what they're doing is protecting your data so your business can run tomorrow. That's what they do. Here's a stat for you. About 45 to 55% of businesses that lose their data, whether they're hacked or whether their computer burns, do not reopen. That's a national number. If the loss of that business data means the business goes away. Great Plains Theater lost everything but its employees.
Absolutely.
And one little kernel. What's the name of that program you guys use up in the cloud?
I just know it as the cloud.
Yeah. So your billing system, your ticketing system.
Ovation,
because it was in the cloud, lived. That was the only customer data. That was the only business data. That was the only thing that survived the fire except the people. So if you look at economic revitalization, you're in the old Alco, which is the largest corporate company in our area in its heyday. We have A.E. Duckal's words on the wall that says change, progress, it comes through change. You guys buckled down, put your spurs on, pulled them kind of up tight, and rebuilt this place, and here we are in it.
We did. And I've talked to many community members who are so happy that we're down here in this building, sharing with Thunderstruck, because you know, it's one thing to build a new facility, but what you have to look at is the sustainability for that facility, the infrastructure for that in out years. But Elizabeth came in here and had a vision. She saw this, what used to be a sales room, or I call it the auditorium. She had a vision for it. She knew it could be done. And, you know, we are we're using a piece of Abilene's history by being here.
Yes.
So that's awesome. And something else I think the community of Abilene just does a superb job of, from what I've seen since being here, is just partnering with each other. Everybody realizes it's not just their game. They have to contribute to other businesses in the town, and you know, it's kind of like, you rub my back, I'll rub yours, let's partner together, and because the bottom line is we're all in this together.
I would agree. I would agree. You know, I explained our employee ownership, but if you look at a community, that's all employee ownership too. People just don't think of it that way often. I have a stake in M&M Tire. M&M Tire has a stake in Eagle. Our business is the two of us. We have an actual contract between us. I put the internet service in here in return for a couple of times to get to use your facility for whatever the heck I want. But that's just what's written on the paper.
Right.
What it really is a contract that says we will work for each other's mutual benefit.
Yes, yes,
That's
absolutely.
a big thing.
Absolutely.
And we've
Abilene does it well.
And we've had a lot of fun. So
we have. Okay,
so here's one of my very fun memories of Great Plains Theater and Patty Mayhew. So remember the play that I don't know who came up with the idea that we're going to do a play for the Chisholm Trail Festival in 2016?
Yes.
But we
You're
did a
speaking
while.
of the melodrama?
The melodrama.
Oh my gosh, I think that was the brainchild of Teresa Weishauer and Randy West.
Okay.
Worked on that together.
So whoever those devious people were, this volunteer group, here we are. So, but we're in here practicing. And the James gang was up on the stage doing their little scene, which was funny even when all the lines were remembered. But during practice, they're not so much remembered. And you were laughing so hard in the stands, you had to get up and leave. And I'm standing on the stage. It was just highly amusing, a lot of fun. And I think of Patty Mayhew.
I remember, and the folks who know me know that once I get something that's tickled my funny bone and I start giggling, I can't stop laughing, but my God, that night it was just hilarious. So I remember that well.
Okay.
And by the way, thank you for being such a loyal volunteer and offering to do that role.
When Miss Margaret handed me that script, I'm telling you, I broke out in hives. I don't do scripts. I don't do scripts. I do this. I don't do scripts. Yes. So I know the clock is running. We can't not miss upcoming events at Great Plains Theater.
All right. The biggest thing we have coming up is this weekend we have Readers Theater After Dark, and we are going to have a play that is going to be produced here as a read, and it was written by our own technical director, Mark Warner, and one of his associates from college, and they were students at Emporia State University. I have seen the play. It was phenomenal. I am going to put the caveat out there. It's Readers After Dark, so there's a little asterisk there. There is some adult content as far as language goes, but it starts at 7 p.m. Saturday night. Tickets are $5. You can call up Kim here at the office, or you can just come down and buy a ticket.
So, process. this will be filmed today, won't be produced till probably early next week. But here's how we're going to get that message that you just said on the air. So you need to send us a JPEG of that right there.
Okay.
And we'll put it on our scroll channel, which runs on Eagle Local 2.
I will do that.
And that way, that information will be in front of the public in time enough for them to come follow. But here's what you need to know at home. What Patty said about this event, there is always one. There's always one. This is this one, but there's always one. There is always something new and fun for you to come enjoy.
There is. We have such a creative team here. It's fun to watch the creative process between our staff members, because we sit in staff meetings and we talk about, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could do this? Or I saw this done somewhere else, we should try it here. And we are not afraid to try new things here in order to try to cover every single one of our audience members, the demographics in Abilene. You know, we have different age groups. So we do try to cater to each one of those groups as best we can.
I think our kids group here is I've never seen of such a wide diversity of young people.
You're right.
End up at a higher level of performance.
Yes.
I think it's unparalleled. I
Yes.
think it's the best example I've ever seen of how to take regular people, which we all are, and produce excellence with repeatability. Everything those young people do over the years, when they walk out for that performance on that stage, it is good.
Every bit of experience that these youth get here at the theater is going to benefit them in their future, whether they are in theater or they are out of theater. If they end up being on a board and have to give public presentations, they'll think back to these days at Great Plains Theater. And that's one of the things I'm very passionate about, is watching how these kids grow and blossom. I have seen their self-confidence build. The way they carry themselves on the stage, whether it's here or at Abilene High School Auditorium, you can tell a Great Plains Theater kid. You really can.
I would agree. So Patty, we have you at Great Plains Theater for 60 days, unless Jim ties you up on day 39 and you heads to some new trail. And
you never know.
That's because husband Jim is a trail expert. He knows a lot about the West, and that's his gig, right?
He does.
So, but we're going to have you for 60 days as an interim.
That is correct.
And my expectation is we're going to have you the rest of the time you're alive in Abilene as a volunteer.
I will always come help volunteer at Great Plains Theater, absolutely.
That's because you believe, don't you?
I do.
You're a believer.
I do. I've seen the changes that have taken place, and I have to say this, you know, being raised in Abilene, Kansas, and raising my own kids here, we all get busy with family life and our careers. Had I known then what I know now, I wish I'd had my two kids in Great Plains Theater. But now that it was always a goal to get back with the theater and help out however I can, and I'm just so happy to be here, and I'm glad to serve and help aid in a smooth transition from Elizabeth to the next permanent director at Great Plains Theater. And I just see a bright, bright future for Great Plains Theater. Yes. I really do.
So I know it's a cliche in the industry, the show goes on. It's not a cliche here. It has been real. It's been the show must go on, and the show does go on. There's a few of us behind the scenes that's seen what it has taken for the show to go on.
Yes.
And I think the camaraderie, so Mark Warner, he will appreciate this and forgive me simultaneously. I'll never forget the door at Abilene High School, and I don't know what the play was, and the first actor that came through it slammed it. From there on, in the crowd, knowing, you know, me, knowing what was, I was just, the nerves were, I broke a sweat.
Did your heart stop
beating?
Yes,
it did. I thought this is
that.
going to be the start of the entire set collapsing. The work that it took to do that, to do all of that, putting up shows at Chapman, at Eisenhower, at Abilene. Thank you to those organizations, but the work it took to do that, unbelievable. So last show that we had in the fall here, I walked in to Mark and I said, superior doors. I love the door design. You can just slide them in, rotate them, and he just smiled, thumbs up. He says, "Yeah, pretty good." And then I said, "Yes, I love the doors."
You know, I'd like to say we just get better every day.
Absolutely.
Every one of us gets better at our craft. I mean, we have some staff here who have 30 plus years in the business, so we already, they've come to us loaded with all kinds of knowledge and skills and experience. But still, we grow and develop and get better every day.
Yeah.
So.
You know, you worked at Fort Riley for a while, quite a while.
I did.
Okay, so we are close to Fort Riley, and most people in Abilene have a sense of that, you know, a lot of soldiers.
Yes.
I don't know of anything other than combat teams that have to react to more change than what I've seen behind the scenes of you putting up work, of the team here putting up work. I think you're an extraordinary team here. Every person you mentioned, I could make a show about and talk about the extraordinary effort that was put into what people walk through on opening night and just have a wonderful time, and the little snacks on these nice tables as they walk out, and it's wonderful and it's great. Holy mackerel, if you'd have seen it on Thursday or Wednesday or Tuesday. But here's what's good. You guys have done it. It's here for Abilene. It's the community benefit. It's an example. I think about those young people, and that's really the one thing that'll get Elizabeth a little misty-eyed here. And that is having a place for those young people to come to. But as an investment for Abilene, for your consideration of your donation dollars of supportive things, the program that takes that group of children in and produces sage towcatches of the world.
Absolutely.
Can't get better investment in a community than that.
You are so right. This is the kind of business I don't think the average person realizes the amount of work, tremendous amount of work that goes into putting on a show. I don't think I realized until I helped on keyboard with Shout, just being here. So I would certainly welcome, you know, members of the community anytime. Talk to Randy or Margaret about coming down and watching the process, because that will help show the amount of work that goes into it. But the Great Plains Theater, Elizabeth and the team was always balancing all these plates, you know, and it's a real juggling act. So, but it's happened and it's working.
So just a fun fact. Okay, Elizabeth comes home and says, "I need a ship's bell." We're in the middle of Kansas. Where are you going to find a ship's bell? Then I stopped and I said, "I've seen one somewhere hanging in somebody's yard." I never did think of who it was, but Lorraine McLean thought of it. After after Elizabeth told her that Dennis has seen a ship's bell in Abilene, she goes, "Oh, I think I know where it is. I think Kathy Stroda has a ship's bell." And when we had all of the sound effects over there for the last one, which was fantastic, dong, ship's bell, Abilene, Kansas, out of somebody's backyard. You know, sure, you can use my ship's bell.
Yeah. You know, there's one lady you just mentioned that there are probably not enough kudos that go to Lorraine McLean. That woman gets things done.
Gets it done.
Absolutely. So we are so blessed to have her at the helm of our board of directors, as well as the rest of the team that's on the board of directors. But we can't thank Lorraine enough, and I hope the community knows the amount of work and sacrifice that she's put into helping this facility and this operation keep on going.
I'm sensing we're getting close on time, even though Dave hadn't given me a 2 yet, but I want to make a pitch on behalf of the Lorraine McLeans. Even Lorraine McLean doesn't last forever as a board member, because everybody has a life and they might want to take care of a grandchild or something.
Absolutely.
You know, all of that sort of thing. We need them. We need those people behind that screen right there. We need that next group of board people. And I hear there's some young people on the board now.
Absolutely.
And we have a new generation coming in.
We do.
If you have a passion for any of the things that we've talked about, hey, my thing here is opening the door. I can do it pretty well. I can say hello, good evening, welcome to Great Plains Theater. I can walk people in to wherever they need to go. that job is needed here.
It is. It is. One of the things we need to continue working on is our volunteer force, because the numbers are kind of coming down, and for one reason or another, you know, we get older, we have lives, we have other things we need to do, but I appeal to the community of Abilene. Please come volunteer, help us out. There is always something to be done here, and you know, we can find a place for you.
Well, Patty, Dave gave me the two, so we've got about a minute maybe to thank you. Two things. Thanks for being on camera with us today. It's always nice to have a willing, engaged participant. You did a great job of representing yourself in Great Plains Theater.
Thank you.
More importantly for me, thanks for being willing to step up and say, sure, I'll serve 60 days and I will keep the boat pointed in the right direction. Such an important job, and you're going to do great at it.
Thank you so much, Dennis, and I want to thank your company as well, EagleCom, for all of the community support, financial support that you give the theater. So thanks for being a great partner.
Very welcome. Have enjoyed every minute of it. If we can help you at Eagle, you let us know. If I can help you, my number hasn't changed.
All right.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Patty Mayhew, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
I'm Dennis Weiss. I work for Eagle Communications. Patty Mayhew is the Interim Executive Director of Great Plains Theater, looking for your support in the community to make all this wonderful keep on happening. We've enjoyed being with you today. Have a great day.